And tomorrow you're going to find us at Palmer Home for Children. We're hosting the 11th annual Radiothon. It is here, and joining us to get us all amped and ready is Drake Bassett. He is the CEO of Palmer Home for Children. Hey, Drake.
Hey, how you doing?
It's almost been 364 5 days since Rhino and I have seen you and the gang. What's it like there? How exciting is everybody? Busy bees around town?
Well, that's exactly right. There's sort of a slow build for 4 or 5 days in advance, and then this is certainly the day before. So it's certainly busy out here, but I think the reason it's so much fun is people do get excited about being together. And we appreciate so much, SuperTalk's commitment to Palmer Home and the fact that, the hosts come out here and spend the day with us, and we just get to talk about, important things, and we also get to share, some really positive stories. And so when we're dealing with something as tough as the problems we deal with, it's a lot of fun to see people be here. And so, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on right now getting ready for tomorrow.
Well, it's nothing but the good things, which I love, Drake, is you get to talk about that. Even though it's through sometimes a tough lens, it's the good work that you do that you get to celebrate. And I think when you do have those tough topics, like what you guys see every day or faced with children in unimaginable circumstances, a lot of times us on the outside feel hopeless on how we can help. And the Radiothon is a great way for us to be a piece of that puzzle by donating, by getting involved, by being informed. And so to me, that's a win.
I think it's a huge win. And, one of the blessings for me over the years being here at Palmer Home is, you work every day. And I was in a meeting a couple of hours ago, and we were talking about a pretty tough situation, and everybody's around the table and wanting to, put their best foot forward to help. And I think that's the feeling people across Mississippi have as well. They simply want to help. And, so when people pour into us, either with their prayers or their energy or their financial gifts, I hope they feel the way we feel about them, which is we're doing this together. And, I enjoy the responsibility of bringing great people together to be involved with these children's lives. And I'm thankful for the staff that we have and the volunteers and, of course, relationships like yours and the many businesses and friends across the state, because that's what it's about. People want to help and want to make a difference. And I'm grateful that every year we take a day with SuperTalk, and it's kind of a state family reunion. Let's talk about what we're doing, and let's recommit ourselves to do even more next year.
It does feel a little like a family reunion now. I haven't been there for all 11. I was trying to think up. I think this is my 7th, maybe 8th one that I've had the pleasure of being a part of, and you do get excited about seeing everybody. Although conversations and communications happen not just the day of, long in advance, but actually getting to come that day. But Drake, the Radiothon is how I learned about Palmer Home. I mean, obviously I was there for the first time, but I know that there were going to be a lot of folks, new to SuperTalk or new to Palmer Home that will tune in tomorrow, and it'll be their first introduction. And I think that's another good thing about the Radiothon is reminding and informing people of the good work that's being done, and they may have never heard of Palmer Home before. I know you're in it every day, and so you can't believe someone may have never heard of Palmer Home. But if someone is like, I keep hearing about this Radiothon or what's going to happen tomorrow, how do you kind of explain in a nutshell what you guys do there over the last 125 years?
Well, I think, you're right about that. There's sort of a before you knew about Palmer Home, and then there's after you knew about Palmer Home. And I think for everybody, we listen to the news every single day. We're, whether it's social media or television or however you get your news. And, we don't have to tell people these days that the news is sometimes tough. And it's one thing to just constantly be hit with, the challenges that are real in our world. Well, people need to know that, there's a little bit of fighting back, which is, there are some really, really great things happening in the world. And this is one of them. I am a firm believer that Palmer Home stands, on behalf of children who need a place to call home. And when you say, how do you tell people about Palmer Home? I think the good news is that since 1895, the mission of Palmer Home has been to provide a safe, loving place with a faith foundation and with a commitment to everything we can give to a child that will make their life the best it can be. And we help them wherever they're coming from. We help them with whatever their circumstance is. And that includes, things like coaching. And we'll talk about this tomorrow, coaching around, educational needs and emotional needs and prepping them for, life after Palmer Home when they become adults. All of those good things have been going on for a long, long time. And so for people who haven't heard about Palmer Home, go to our website, get to know us. But better than anything else, tune in tomorrow, all day to SuperTalk, and you can hear all about what we do. And I hope that people do get a chance to kind of, enjoy realizing that, hey, there are some tough things happening out there. There's some good things happening, too. And they're happening here at Palmer Home.
And I think a lot of our listeners will appreciate, too, Drake, that you're a faith-based organization that's at the core of what you do there at Palmer Home. And we know that the love of Christ and the light of Christ is there to I guess, in the darkness, right? And that's kind of the work that you guys are doing.
That's right.
And it's an important piece to how y'all do things differently.
Well, it really is, because that's a core driver, right? We talk about this, we believe it, and across the state, people worship together and we pray together, and you and I might go to a different church building, but we agree that we have a responsibility as a Christian that we need to help children in need. The Bible is saturated with passages that talk about helping the orphan and helping the child in need and helping the stranger and helping those who basically we would call our neighbor. And that's the way to think of it. And so when people invest emotionally or financially or prayerfully into Palmer Home, that's what I think they're participating in. It's a mission that belongs to God. We don't own this mission. We're just participating in the mission. And that's a mission that I think God cares about, which is to help a child who needs a place to be cared for, provide food, provide basic friendship, and give children a sense of, hey, there's something better maybe than what I've been struggling with these past few years. So I believe that the faith-based factor is core to who we are.
And some of my favorite stories each year, Drake, are those that have broken cycles within their family, got to graduate high school. Some have gone off to serve in the military. Others have gone off to college to earn higher education. It's all of these stories of success, or sort of, flying the coop, because that's what you want. That's what everybody wants for their kids. They want them to be trained up and then get out and fly.
Boy, that is so true, and now that my children have left home, I've seen them all the way from beginning to where they are today, and that's exactly the way it is. You want the very best for them. You want to believe that they're having a productive day, that they're in relationships that are strong and healthy, that they're in communities where they can serve, and that's what we picture for our children. And I've been here long enough now to say I've seen some of those children who arrived when they were 7 or 8 years old, and now they're 19 and 20. And they're out there in the world doing some of the things you just described. They're going to college, or they're going to a technical program. Some are in the military, and they're serving as we speak. And we see ourselves as their family. We're so proud of them. We're proud of them for their commitment. But we know it started, here when we were able to begin to pour into their life and where it was at that moment. And so I think that's what people can believe in when they contribute and give to Palmer Home, is this is a place that believes in making lives whole and giving a child every opportunity to do exactly what you just described, to fly completely and to be successful.
You have on your website Where Hope Grows is kind of like the 3 words that sums up Palmer Home for Children. And I think that's a great way, too, over the years that I've learned. You can come in feeling, down and sort of hopeless in their situations, or, what their futures may look. But you give them an opportunity to, get the right nourishment, get the right education or support. And then you can see the growth sort of from that. And I know there's a lot of different programs. Some children do make it back to their original families and restored that way. Restoration looks different, but that's the key goal for every child who finds themselves at Palmer Home in some way, form, or fashion.
That's right. It does look different for every child, and for children who are able to reunify with their families, that's an incredible thing. The family was never designed to be apart, and sometimes it has to come apart because of choices people make or because of circumstances. But our desire is to put it back together if we can. If it's safe and it makes sense and it's the right thing, then it's a beautiful thing when that happens. We applaud family members and mothers and fathers and grandparents who work hard to create the kind of life that allows a child to come back, because we know how important that is for children to be with their biological families, and we want to make that happen. But sometimes it can't happen, and when it can't happen, we're here to be, hopefully, a source of strength and encouragement, because everybody, I don't care who's listening right now, it doesn't matter who you are, everybody wants to know that they're loved by somebody, that somebody's pulling for them.
And we're definitely pulling for everybody, too, Drake, coming tomorrow for the 11th Annual Palmer Home for Children Radiothon. Thank you so much for your time. Rhino and I are going to wrap things up here on Good Things and then head your way. How about that?
That sounds great. Come on up and see us. We're ready for you.
All righty. We'll see you soon, but you guys stick with us. We got a few more good things for you coming up next.